So behind me sits one of the baddest cars we've built so far at DC, this G-Face kitted RX-7. So now the body and everything is in paint, which hopefully you will have seen in the last video. It's time for the build-up. Now this is no easy task. We have to be careful, of course. So everything needs to be millimeter perfect. Carbon sills, they'd not been fitted, so they needed trimming. The spoiler uprights, we had those powder coated, they had to be fitted. All the carbon was polished where it hadn't been done before. And a full build-up, the carbon vents, they were bonded in. Everything. We've got the vents here. They were painted, bonded in from the back and clipped in, fitting all the door mirrors. There's a lot on this, building up the doors. Obviously you've got the plexiglass, we've got a heated glass front screen. The list goes on. This car is full of details, which I absolutely love, and how we try to build all our cars here. Right, it's another little issue we've got, and you get this with virtually any aftermarket part you ever buy, because nothing ever fits. But now we've got some carbon fiber sill covers, just to replace the plastic ones, but they're the wrong shape. They're not the same shape as the sill, and so it's under tension, although it might fit in the middle. It's sitting up on the ends, and they've just put 2 screw holes in, which isn't enough to hold it down. And if it's not holding down, then when you shut the door, this door is going to scratch it all. And also, you've got the roll bar, which is so tight to there. We're going to have to bend the lip out a little bit, because this seal does need to come past a little bit. And that way should come past, and you should have a gap as standard, and then the cover just covers the gap. So we're going to have to make room there for the seal to come past, but then we've just figured out, and Greg's already trimmed this carbon, which needs a bit more trimming to make it look nice. But I think what we're going to have to do is just put more, rather than, we're always going to have to put one hole in the middle, but because it's sitting up on the end, we're going to have double screws on either end. Another screw down there. See, it's under a lot of tension. Another screw down there, because double-sided tape won't hold it. Another, you're gonna have probably like 5 screws in it to hold it down, because they're gonna be black screws. And it's gonna be fitted nice, and it's gonna look nice. Once it's done, you're not even gonna know it's even an issue. But it's just one of the things that you get. And this is normal, this is custom car building. It's just one of the things that you have to work around every time you get a new piece of anything to stick on the car. So yeah, problem solving. Right, so when this car came to us, if you've not seen our previous videos, go check them out. But when this car came to us, we thought it was in final primer, literally ready for us to block that back, maybe reprime a few little bits and get it into paint, as well as doing the floor and a few of the little bits. But how wrong were we? When we started looking, the body kit, the rear quarters had been bonded on to the body just with little blobs of fiber fill, which is basically filler, and it cracked all along the edges. The roof was thick with filler, and so just those 2 things alone just meant that we had to literally scrape, take everything back and start from scratch. The gaps all along the front bodywork, they were just completely terrible. So unfortunately, we've had to undo everything that the last body shop did and start again, which always takes way more time than it does when you just start from scratch. So yeah, it's been a long journey, and it's been a difficult one, especially for the owner. So yeah, it looks amazing now though, but that comes with a lot of hours and a lot of hard work. So starting from the front, it's got the full body kit, which the owner had to wait a year for after ordering, which is insane, but it's a rare body kit, you know, and it just looks absolutely amazing. In the engine bay, there's been quite a bit of smoothing done, removing brackets and things like that we just didn't need. All the bonnet's been gapped up, all the front has been gapped up. That meant re-drilling different holes in the wings, because because they just didn't match anything. Put in riv nuts where we needed them to be, rather than trying to match holes that were already there in the wings or the body itself. So we put in the body kit where it needed to be. This gap along here was absolutely terrible, and where the bonnet was going to bolt down to the body, it was just never going to, it was always going to crack because the angles were completely wrong. So that's all been cut off and re-glassed in where we needed it to be. So just those alone, it's been a massive amount of work. Getting all the carbon fiber trimmed so it fits as nicely as we need it to be. Painting all the grills, getting all this to fit perfectly. The door, when it opened before, used to touch the carbon here and it damaged the door and the carbon. So there's been carbon repairs to do as well. The list goes on. On the inside as well, we tried for ages to buy a donor car for the floor or get hold of a panel for the floor. They're non-existent, we couldn't do it. So what we've done is we cut the old floors out, made flat floors which have been bead rolled. They look dead cool, look race car style, and to be fair, if you're not into these things, you'd never even know we've done it. So there's been tons of work on the inside of this car as well. It's got the flat floors in here. Now we searched for ages to trying to find a donor shell or a complete floor panel for this. It's just non-existent. We couldn't find one anywhere. So we decided to cut the floors out and make flat floors. Now these have all been bead rolled. It's all been seam sealed in and fully stone chipped and obviously over painted body color to try and make it look as factory as possible. It's dead stiff, it's dead perfect, you know. Luckily for this, already got these seat mounts in there. They were already in when we got the car, already been caged, and got this NAS style roll cage in there as well, which goes into the doors, which meant that the door panels that we had to make are really complex, but I just think they look absolutely dead cool. So eventually what it's going to have is a little canvas pull, which is going to come through there just to open the door. Got the plexiglass windows as well. Now the idea with this is when the door is shut, I'll shut it in a second, this shape here follows the roll cage all the way around, but you can still see all inside the door, so that's been painted to perfection in there, which is not usual at all. It's got the dashboard as well, which we've trimmed around the door bars. That's all going to go in, that's been flocked, as well as the center console. So it's going to be a very, very minimalist interior, apart from the really cool looking fuel cell in the boot. Now one of the things you can't miss on this car is this massive rear spoiler. Now the back end does look a little bit puny compared to the massively wide front end, although the rear end is probably about 3 inches either side wider than stock. You stick this thing on and it's just a massive wing, massive road presence. It makes you stare at this thing. Now you're probably wondering how you get in your boot, and yes, there's plenty of room for still all of your luggage and probably your polishes for when he's going to the shows. Well, there's going to be some release pins on the back. That spoiler's going to flip back a couple of inches and you can open your boot to your fuel cell, which looks absolutely awesome. Now, as well as that, we also made a new boot floor because the boot floor that was welded in there before looked an absolute mess, if I'm honest. So we've redone that, bead rolled that, exactly the same as the floors, and as you'll see, I think it looks awesome. Now, one of the things you've probably noticed as well is these old, dirty, horrible looking wheels. And don't worry, the owner is going to get some one-off wheels for it, and a lot wider than these. And to be fair, having these wheels on gives it away how much wider than stock this car is now. It's absolutely massively wider. Also, the suspension, it looks like it's on stilts at the moment, although we've got it in the wheel dollies just to get it around, because it's not finished at all mechanically. It's literally just got the hubs and the wheels and the suspension on. It's going to have a big drop on the suspension to make it look like a race car. Now, because of that massive carbon front splitter, I do think it's going to have a front lift kit on it. I'm hoping and I'm praying it has full air ride on it. I think it's going to have air cups on the front, so as soon as you drive out your driveway, you don't rip that front spoiler off. So as well as this massively wide body kit, huge spoiler on the back, the owner also went for even more carbon, such as these little winglets, these beautiful little race style mirrors, and also, because these vents weren't enough, had us cut these big rectangles out of the carbon fiber bonnet and fitted these carbon vents as well. So one of the first things anyone's going to notice on this car is this loud paint job. Now, we went with Audi Vegas yellow, and you know what? I didn't want to do it yellow. I don't like yellow cars, but it's not my car. And you know what? I think the owner has chose right on this. I was going to do it in a flip color, trying to be different. I've seen a lot of yellow RX-7s on the streets before, but can't deny it, it just suits it. It shows off all the carbon really, really well as well, you know, with the contrast as well. We painted the roll cage in Ford magnetic grey, which again just complements all the carbon. Everything just works perfectly together. And a car like this, you're going to hear it coming, but you're going to see it coming as well. You can't mistake this. It's one loud car, even from the looks and where it's going to sound like. Now, it didn't always look like this. It took a lot of work to get it perfect enough so we could actually put the paint on. Now, there's been a lot of gapping up, which we're going to get into in a second. Been a lot of body kit fitting, on, off, making everything fit perfectly. It's been double primed. That is, you do all your filler work, you high build prime it, sand that back, sort all your lows out, sort your highs out, prime it again, block that back, and then it's ready for paint. So it's a long process, but it's what it takes to get things looking as good as this. So that's our part of the project done now. It's been one massive project and way more work than we ever imagined when this turned up as said. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I wish it was mine. It's just mental. To see this thing driving down the street, it's going to draw a crowd wherever it goes. So there's a lot yet to do. Engine is yet to do. A whole mechanical rebuild. It's going back to the owner for all of that. But fingers crossed, early next year, it's going to be hitting the show scenes, and I can't wait to see it out. So yeah, if you want to see more stuff like this, again, don't forget, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.